Ja, guten Abend alle zusammen. Ich spreche nicht sehr gut Deutsch, so den Vortrag geht auf Englisch, but I tried my best. My name is Erik Kessels. I'm an artist and designer from Amsterdam, and I founded an agency called Kessels Kramer. And tonight I'm going to talk about the importance of the word no. I think that no is really one of the most important words in this industry, especially at the moment, because there's many people who say yes. I mean, everyone says yes almost, but I think that saying no is very important. I mean, in my career, that was the most important thing. You know, like we said many times no, and probably you think like, why? You know, if you say no, you get no clients, or you get. But I think saying no is also, you are kind of shaping who you are, what you think, your identity, you know, because if you say no, you also say yes, of course, because you need to say yes to certain things. But saying no is very important, and that's also how we started. And tonight I will kind of talk about the importance of that. Yeah, like when we started the company, it was in a way, before that, there was also a kind of a no, because there was not a very good atmosphere in a company we worked in London. And both my partner and we decided to turn up at work in a chicken suit. It was we just wanted to liven them up, because it was in the heart of London. And there was a bad atmosphere in the company, so we rented this chicken suit. And in the end, most of the people in the office quite liked it. And some of them, of course, they hated it. They were not amused. Because a few weeks later, we received this firing letter. We got fired over 2 chicken suits. And it also says that we were fired because they thought that both of us were too much individuals. Can you fucking believe it, that you get fired, that in the creative industry that you are too much individual? So, I mean, this is really, but for me, this was like the best letter I ever got, you know, because I'm proud that I'm an individual and that I dare to say no and I dare to say yes. So in the end, we decided to go back to Amsterdam, both Johan and I, and this is our first company picture, you know, like... This is me on the left, if you don't recognize me anymore, but I had kind of a different suit by then. But this is the name of this was our first company flag. And so the company was called Kessels Kramer. It's kind of complicated when you are a designer to make your own identity. It's kind of a big pressure. So luckily there was this metal shop around the corner, and they sold this horseshoe, and we loved it. It was nice. And we put our name on it, and until now, this is our logo. So, we work in a church in the center of Amsterdam. It was bizarre. In the newspaper, it said, like, church for sale. So, we bought a church, and it was, like, in 1998. And it's fantastic to work in a church, you know, one big open space. Also, for my parents, when I went to my parents, I said, like, I go to church every day, you know, like... And they really liked it, and it's a big place where there's not really a lot of doors in there. It's very high, and everybody works there until now. I think another thing is very important. What I fucking hate in this industry is that people say like, "Oh, you think outside of the box." You know, it's like, what box? There is no box. You know, like. How can you... that's the worst thing I ever heard. Oh, let's think outside of the box. Fuck, that this is like the main thing why you are in the industry, to think, to think free without a box. So, these are some early works that we did for Diesel. We said many, many times no. I will show more of that later. And suddenly, after saying many times no, Diesel arrived. So that was really nice, you know. So, of course, we did some work, but we did work that was not paid very well. But at one point, the work was so popping up that Diesel knocked at our door, and we worked 6 years for them. In this case, it's very nice because, this was the first campaign we made for them, promoting people to stay younger and younger. And in this case, just by saying like, drink more urine. For me, as I mean, I am really, I have worked 25 years in advertising. I fucking hate advertising, because it's horrible. But if you can do something like this, I really like it. You have a 16-meter long billboard on Broadway, and then saying like, drink more urine. Yeah, that's great, I think. Another really classical ads, this is for Vitra, this furniture company. And this one says, the Eames aluminium chair, guaranteed to stay in the family. Yeah, so that is also, to do it like this can be quite nice. This is for the Standard Hotel. We worked for several years only about the philosophy that the hotel is anything but standard. So we showed things that are in the hotel, anything but standard. And yeah, it was also a very fun client and really nice to work with. Yeah, another client we work for in Amsterdam, it's called Women Inc. And these are predominantly the women in the office work on that. And it's like an organization that works for female topics and female rights, and they do campaigning for that. This was all about that a woman in her working life earns 300,000 euro less than men. And here they are looking for, these women are looking for their 300,000 euro. And yeah, next up is also, and that is also, I think, something very essential, is that in advertising, everything is very stereotypical, like all the car advertising looks like the same, all the cosmetic advertising, everything is boxed in and everything is, so, I mean, when you can change that, you are already, I mean, it's so easy to do that, and then you already pop up. So I show you two films for a radio station, and this was during the World Cup of Soccer. This radio station was showing that, or giving reportages on that. And we just tried to change the thing. Instead of showing everything orange, like in Holland, everything is orange on television, and you only see a lot of the players. So we tried to change that. Yeah, the animal rights organization was not amused. They were very, very aggressive to us because they called us, they mailed us, and they said, like, what the fuck are you doing? You cannot do this. And they demanded us to make a new film to show that the dog was still alive. How stupid can you be? I mean, it's really ridiculous. So in the end, they kept on pushing us like that we had to make a new film. So for us, it was great. We thought like, and with the client also, we said like, yeah, we have to make a new film. Okay, let's make a new film. And so it was like during the Tour de France, because the World Cup was already finished. So it was Tour de France. And then, yeah, we made a film where the dog came back into the film. And even the owner of the dog was also back in there. Yeah. We never heard back from them anymore. There was a complete radio silence, we never heard that animal rights organization anymore. So it shows also what you can do. Yeah, this is a hotel we worked for called Citizen M. And here there was a really good relationship from the beginning. And so, yeah, a lot of people and creatives, they always tell me, like, yeah, how, when our client says no to this, and how can we do this? And, you need to invest also into a very good relationship, and very, you have to build this from the ground up. And so in this case, we did everything for this hotel. We came up with the formula of the hotel, the name, the design, everything in the hotel. So it was called Citizen M, which came from Mobile Citizens. And this was a hotel which had like these, was built on with these shipping container modules. So they could build a hotel within 2 months. And it's a hotel that combines budget and luxury. And they can do that very quickly to make a hotel because all the rooms are already prefabricated. So it's kind of a new formula. And these are all the mobile citizens that we made for in the hotel. You can find them in the rooms and outdoor. This is the canteen, showing everything they had on one sandwich. Yeah, here it is also the bags in the hotel. They combine budget with luxury. Yeah, here it's the wording is welcome to floor 11. What other floors want to be to grow up to be? Yeah, also the soap we even did. It's nice to when you are art director and when you work in an agency to come up with a soap. Like why not? And so it's a Citizen AM and a Citizen PM. Here it's the soap that says designed to turn even the longest haul traveler into a sparkling clean and nice smelling human being again. And another thing we did was a great morning because I received a call that we could make a wake up call for the hotel. Fantastic.
100, 99,
Takes a while, this, but
98, 97, 96, 95, 94.
yeah. Okay, I'll stop it here, but you get the idea. This is the advertising. It says choose a hotel that's 400 meters from here and 1,000,000 miles from the Hilton. And also on the limousines, this was a limousine when they opened in New York. It says, Citizen M says, luxury and free Wi-Fi. Yeah, like, fuck, I can't read it. Oh yeah, here. It's very big. Luxury is free Wi-Fi and extra large beds, not a stupidly long car. Quite obvious. Yeah, and then this guy was walking up and down the hotel, like the Hilton Hotel, like a big competitor. And it says, Citizen M says, a 24-hour bar and free Wi-Fi beats a guy in a silly hat carrying your bags. And the next film is a film to show that the hotel was really fed up with all these hotel cliches. Yeah. Yes, thanks. Yeah, then also one other thing. I mean, what is the most overrated thing in creativity is like brainstorms. Like brainstorm is just like a room full of people jerking off on top of each other, because it's like really, really unnecessary and not good. I mean, has anybody in this room ever been in a brainstorm with 4 or more people and something fruitful came out? Of course not. I mean, a brainstorm, maybe you do it with 2, maybe with yourself, a brainstorm, whatever you like to do. But a brainstorm is horrible. There's always a few people that don't even want to say something. There's always one guy talking the most in the room because he feels like the biggest one in the room. And I mean, it's very counterproductive. You need to, you need to think about ideas yourself, and then you can, you can kind of show them to others and maybe get some input, and maybe that is a brainstorm. But I don't know. But not with a lot of people in one room, and the pressure in there. I mean, it makes me sweat so much. Like I'm so nervous when okay, the brainstorm starts. Fuck it. I mean, anyway, yeah, this is maybe an example. Yeah, my partner and I, we were invited to in like a competition to come up with a theme for the city of Amsterdam. And on the way back to the office on the bike, on a bicycle, we already came up with this idea, I Amsterdam. I mean, it's not, I'm not joking. Within 4 or 5 minutes after leaving the briefing, we had this idea. So we checked it in the office, and it was not registered yet. So on that day, we registered it ourselves, which was 15,000 euro. For us, we were just starting, was quite a lot of money, but we thought when it's not existing yet, I mean, that's fantastic, so let's do it. And when they don't take it, then we use it ourselves. So, I mean, 2 weeks later, there was a big meeting with the client, and then suddenly we presented the work. I was quite confident about this, and after the meeting, everyone was silent. Totally, nobody said anything. So I asked this woman next to me, is there something wrong? And she said, like, yeah, very sorry for you, very embarrassing, but the people that presented before you had exactly the same idea. So in the end of the 5 contenders of this competition, 3 had I Amsterdam, and then we told them, I mean, there were 30 people in the room. We told them, yeah, can be true, because we also had this idea in 5 minutes. And by the way, the idea is ours. We own it. So they were, how do you mean we own it? Yeah, it's ours. We registered it. It's now ours. So if you want to use it, you have to buy it from us. Yeah. So in the end, they just they did another competition, and funny enough, they also had I Amsterdam. So in the end, they researched it. It was a very good research. So they couldn't, in the end, they went with us, and they had to almost, like. Yeah. But in the end, it was many times copied. So here is Wow Moscow, only Lyon, we are Ramallah. Many times this was. Sadly, we didn't register this, but anyway. Yeah, then I think compromises. I mean, this industry is so opportunistic in design, in graphic design, in advertising, in many things. Like, yeah, I mean, I can tell you really, and I'm really, that's maybe the only thing I'm a little bit proud of, is that, I have worked in our own agency for 25 years. I never, ever made one compromise. And I mean, I dare to show everything I ever did, and I've never made any compromise. So, and that is also, I mean, it is working hard, You have to be strong, you have to make risks, and you have to take risks, and sometimes you lose a client, sometimes you have to say fuck off to a client, but you gain also, you have a clean slate. And that is also something that clients like, and other clients, not the... So yeah, this is important, I think. This is a very small job for a school, for instance, and this school had like a lot of trouble with garbage on the campus. So they had these blue garbage bins, but nobody was using them. So sometimes when you have a briefing, everybody's always thinking like, okay, let's make the problem better. But we often do is to make the problem worse. Because we said here, like on the bins, we put the text, throwing away garbage in the garbage bin. How difficult can that be? And we made it extremely difficult. There were 7 permanent installations that you couldn't move. This is metal installations where you really have to try to get your garbage in. And these are like students that are there. And it worked perfectly, okay, it was bad for the person that needed to clean the garbage because... Yeah, it was quite of a... But, here there's like really with weight, with 3 people you have to do this. And, but it worked perfect, it was on the news the next day, so it was very good. We work for a children's technology museum called Nemo in Amsterdam. And this is nice because the advertising we do and the campaigns we do, they become also part of their collection. So the installations that we make, that we come up with, they are in the museum. So I'll show you a few of them. The sound can be a bit louder, by the way. get me wrong, when I say this before about saying no, I mean, for many, many years, we earn a good living out of doing this. You know, it's not that we are poor or that we are, so, you know, like it's not, you can make money with making no compromises, you know, really. You only have to dare to do it, you know, and dare to take that choice. Another thing, people are saying, like, yeah, I had to make this compromise or this shitty work because I had a deadline. I mean, how a deadline is not important. Of course, at one point the work needs to be published, and of course, at one point the client is so desperate that they say like it's now or never. But many, many times when I thought that the work was not good yet, I called the client and I said like, listen, we are busy with it. It's a very good idea, but it's not perfect yet. It's not good yet to show you. And they were happy in the end because they gave us a week more or 2 weeks more. And you know, it's also good to be honest about this, to say like we are not there. Sorry, we had no idea. Sorry, we can. Yeah, so it's good to do this. Yeah, maybe one thing also about very nice work. I think also that you can cross sometimes borders, and also in this case, yeah, it's very difficult to put this on a deadline. So this was for Red Stripe, like a beer in London, and yeah, so we turned a corner shop into like a performative place. But you will see.
Neyin önüne? Neymiş? Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks. Just to show you, this was made. The whole shop was rigged, which was really nice. That a huge team worked on it to behind the scenes of this shop to make it really movable on certain actions when people took out of a drink. And yeah, it's really. I think you can. Oh wait, you can. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. You can. Yeah, you can do a lot. So then. Okay, here comes. Sorry. Yeah, this is also very important. Like, I mean, life is too short to spend it with assholes, especially in work. But of course, I'm talking about another asshole now. I made this work in Amsterdam, where it was an event where people could really climb on a certain stairs, and then they could jump on this enormous asshole. Yeah. Motherfucker. Yeah, so in 1 weekend, 25,000 people trashed the face of this fucker, and it was really nice. Like, Yeah, we were also about to do it here, but was not. Okay. Yeah, then I think this is also very important. I think, yeah, a lot of in the industry is also about perfection, about making things very beautiful. Of course, in the end, something needs to be beautiful, but the starting point needs to be much less beautiful. Needs to be, needs to have no perfection and needs to come from a mistake sometimes, from flaws that you see. I mean, we know so many, we live with all the technique we have, and you can see outside here, so many things are perfect, and which is fantastic. But the starting point as a creative should be something raw, should be something, like not perfect and maybe a mistake and or a deep fascination or something like that. So yeah, I did this book called Failed It, where it's more yeah, like examples of things that really make me happy, like when I wake up in the morning and I arrive in the street and I see this in front of me, yeah, for me it's fantastic, the whole day is, I even get goosebumps now, really. I mean, from this image I get goosebumps because it's, I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm kind of ADD or whatever, I don't know. But for me, this is beautiful. It's poetic almost, But also things like this, and sometimes the inspiration is just right on the street, like where you find it. Sometimes you think, wow, beautiful architecture, but then you think, wait a minute, or even in the kitchen, you think like, wow. But then there's also these gigantic, epic fuck-ups, it's really big, somebody had to do this right, but somebody fucked it up. I mean, there's a 50% chance to do it. Stairs, like a bike path, they really promote you to park there, like, how can I park there? Other parkings, this is really ridiculous, like, how the fuck can you do this? The next one is also very rude, like, you have these people that design children's playgrounds, like a children's playground designer. But mostly these designers, they are totally not into children themselves. Look at this, you put your children in, you sweep them around like, they are decapitated, like, you see that it's already went completely wrong there, and bizarre. Or this one, look, it's a fucking garbage bin on a graveyard in Amsterdam. Can you believe it? They put a garbage bin next to a grave, almost visually similar to a grave, like, look at these two things. Like, how does it work? You bring your dead uncle for an eco-funeral, just put him in the, yeah. I mean, here also, there's a clear example how to, this one, like balconies. Yeah, then it's toilets, like toilets are the biggest fuck-ups, because it's already bad enough that you are disabled, but always the disabled toilets are blocked. They use them for storage, for extra chairs, You cannot get in them, They don't want anybody in there, but in normal toilets, they want as many people as possible, There's no privacy anymore. How can you do this? I mean, who designed this, like... It's like, here's another disabled toilet, very, I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable, like little tricks to open and close the door, like this one still looks very clean, but it will be a gigantic mess. And yeah, like, and the next one is really my favorite. It's an image that I look for years already. It's a person that came up with this fantastic sustainable idea in a toilet, like really ecological, because you can combine anything. You can take a piss, you can take, you wash your hands. With the water that you wash your hands, you wash your dick. It's a constant, there's a little towel to close everything off. And I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay. Yeah, then, I mean, no logic is the starting point, of course, for creativity. We are professional clowns, we need to come up with something that has no logic. So, yeah, I like things like this, like really small things that like why not? And even sometimes in very boring briefs, we worked for a wine producer in a very beautiful, nice company in Portugal, and they asked us to make like an advertising with a pack shot. That's the most horrible thing you can do. To have like a background of Portugal with a wine bottle as big as possible in it. But we did it, and we made it really nice. So this is the advertising, really boring, but then suddenly you see that there's something wrong. So we made it really this is like a digital version. But then actually you saw also, and we got a lot of publicity for that, how it was made. So there's a fucking wine bottle on a drone here, and we made made it really happen that it's. And by the way, at the end of the day, of this working day and making the campaign, it was very nice to even pour the bottle. Yes. Yeah, so I think like a traditional advertising can be also less traditional when you do something with it. And this is, some of you might know this, but this is was our first client that we ever worked for. And it was a budget hotel in the center of Amsterdam. And this was like really the first client who called back in 1996, can you imagine? And so the owner of the hotel called us and said like, listen, I really... I have a lot of complaints about my hotel. Can you stop those complaints and do something for me? We thought like, okay, let's go there. So next day we went there, and it was really the biggest shithole I saw in my life. It's like a budget hotel. It smelled. It was like really, 500 beds in the center of Amsterdam. But we thought like, oh, here we go. We set up our agency. This is our first client. Okay, so, but then we didn't give up, and we thought like maybe, we talked about it, and we thought like maybe honesty is their only luxury, because they have no luxury. There's nothing, it's a shithole. And so that was the strategy that we made. And so we did these posters, very honest, saying now a bed in every room, now even more rooms without a window, a door in every room, now more dog shit in the main entrance. All very true, because this is Amsterdam. And also in the hotel, in the room, when you check in, there was this A3 cardboard card. And this is the bed, by the way. It still looks like this, but... when you had this, like this thing on your bed, you could cut out all your things that you need, and you really could pimp your room, very nicely, yeah. Yeah, and when we started for them, they had 60,000 overnights, and they didn't grow for 10 years. So when we did this campaign, very cheap, there was hardly any budget involved, and we were paid in giving parties in the hotel instead of getting money, and okay. So it was kind of a barter deal, and then so it made immediately a raise to 75 to 80,000 overnights, and then we had a very good atmosphere. So the next year we did a very positive campaign, very luxurious. So I stole this image from a 5-star hotel. We put all these asterisks on there, and then it says here, not included. So there's really nothing in this image is included. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and I mean, we worked 25 years for them. This was a campaign when all these boutique and design hotels were popping up in that area. So we thought like, okay, we also have unique design. And then for the first time in working for them for 15 years, for the first time there was actually something positive about the hotel, because we found out that the hotel is accidentally eco-friendly. Yeah, because there is an towel in the room, you know, which is the curtain, of course. There's an eco-elevator, there is an eco-shower, you know, like a really... and also we made this pamphlet saying, "Save our planet, stay at the Hansbrinker Budget Hotel." And on the back there was this picture of the hotel sign, and I was frustrated always biking there in the night, and I saw only the L burning. But that's how I came up with the idea of the campaign, because it also that has this eco fact here saying like our hotel sign only uses 20% of the energy of normal hotel signs. So we also did in the end. They are now at 160,000 overnights, and but the bad thing is that they still have a lot of complaints. But now on TripAdvisor, people complain that they have been there and they think it's not bad enough, you know. So Then also, I mean, saying thanks to clients and to saying no thanks, or if they approach you, because it has also to do like some things are not for you. You know, if you like if a cigarette brand comes in or whatever, or I don't know, then you know. Do you need to work for them? Maybe not, you know. So I don't know. That's everybody's own choice. But and for us, it was always nice to also work on other things. One very nice event. So this was 5 people in the office that did this project. So this is there was the World Cup of Soccer, and we found out that at the bottom of the FIFA ranking, number 202 and 203, that's Bhutan and Montserrat, and they never won a game in their life. And so we decided to organize a game between the two worst football countries. This is Montserrat, by the way, which is a volcanic island. So this is their national pitch. So it's not possible to play there. So in the end, the game was played in Bhutan. And this is like the lineup, the two teams. There's 25,000 visitors that day. And this is Bhutan, this is this is Montserrat, this is Bhutan. And you see already a little bit who won and who lost. These ones won, of course. And it was like the worst game you can ever tell, you know, like, but for 25,000 visitors. Here is a promo of the documentary we made in the office for this project. You can put the sound up.
On June 30th, 2002, the same day as the World Cup final in Japan, there was another final between the two lowest-ranked teams in the world, the Buddhist kingdom of Bhutan and the Caribbean island of Montserrat. This was captured in a documentary that brings to life the story of this game through the experiences of the teams, organizers, and the people of Bhutan and Montserrat. Unlike the World Cup final, this game was not about who won or who lost.
I think there are 2 dimensions to the world of sports. One is the opportunity that it gives to individuals, to countries, to communities for social or cultural interaction. And that, I think, is the more important contribution that sports can make to society, through which it can promote peace and harmony, understanding among peoples.
Final was about 2 very different countries and cultures from distant parts of the world, meeting each other for the first time and sharing their love for the beautiful game.
We are draw.
2-1.
Of course, Montserrat is going to win. What other result could there be?
Montserrat 3, Bhutan 2.
Of course, we're expected to win.
3-0.
I predict a very good game.
The other final, also nice for people who don't like football. I know, because I've seen it.
Yeah, thanks. This was the cup. Yeah, this was done by 5 people in the agency. It was an official FIFA game, but everybody organized it themselves. So yeah, it was really nice. And in the end, Bhutan won, and they went up to place 199. Montserrat is still on 203. So yeah, quite a groundbreaking project. Yeah, this is, I mean, if you have time and you cancel things, there's always time. So then, yeah, I did this very unnecessary project, which is I made a vinyl about my friend snoring. So, I mean, I made 300 copies because that's a minimum amount of vinyl that you. So I recorded him at night because I couldn't sleep anymore. So, but then I sent him one vinyl as revenge, sweet revenge, and I now have 299 fucking snoring. Yeah, it's like really horrible record also, like. Yeah, it goes on like that, but yeah, and then yeah, this is also, I think, important that that's no problem if you don't have a brilliant idea straight away. In the end, no one is born with the talent to become a fantastic designer or an advertiser. You know, like, you have to understand also, every time I am fucking nervous every time. I feel like a beginner every time. I feel like so insecure when I have to come up with new ideas. Of course, this is normal, you know, this is not like no one is brilliant. No one is born with the talent to do this. You have to gain confidence, you have to kill the deadline, you have to extend the deadlines, it's really important to be not too secure of yourself. And I am really, I act like a beginner every time. So, yeah, some works that I do as an artist. This is an exhibition I did called 24 Hours in Photos, where I downloaded 24 hours of images from the internet, from Flickr, and I printed them. And in total, there were 950,000 images that were printed and thrown into a gallery. And I mean, when you are fascinated about things, you can do a lot of things, and people also like that. So this was in the exhibition got shown in the MoMA. This was in a church in Switzerland. The priest was not so happy with this exhibition, but he got more visitors than ever. And also other things, like this is like a book I did called Muddy Dance, a recent book, all about, so it's the art book for football fans or the football book for art lovers. Not really sure what it is, but in the end, it's like a scenography and a choreography almost of these football players dancing and playing. And yeah, I mean, it's maybe, I don't know if somebody sees, but I did one thing to the image to make the dancing even more extreme. That's good that nobody knows. I removed the ball. So from all the images, I removed the ball. And that's why it becomes a dance, you know, like, because the ball is, of course, here. But yeah, like, so that's how I work also with reappropriation and looking at things in a different way. Here, the goalkeeper has the ball without ball. And this was the exhibition in Switzerland on a football pitch, on a real pitch. And yeah, like, yeah, and another work I did is called The Pictorial History of the Empty Chair, which I recently did. And this is also something, when you start this and you have an idea, you don't know where you end up. So this book shows like a history of the empty chair in other people's pictures. And yeah, they are, it's very strange that every picture has always an empty chair. You know, if you look, there's a lot of people, there's one empty chair. You know why? Or somebody knows? It's the photographer, yeah, very good. So yeah, it looks very dramatic, but it's of course the photographer that steps out of the image. And then this is the most expensive book I made, because if you buy the book, it's like 200 euros the book. But then when you buy it, you get a real empty chair with it. You know, so a metal chair, and also very beautiful, but then also the book is under the seat, and so you can keep it always with you. And yeah. This is people who bought the chair, and they send me pictures where the chair in their house is, and really, yeah, it's nice to see how that travels, and yeah. Yeah, then another thing also quite important, like I won't go too deep in this, but I mean, the front yards of a house, you know, this is a front yard, you know, everybody makes it beautiful, like it's almost like the shop window of your family, you know, like, and metaphorically, yeah, like, and you see this also with creatives, with their portfolio, with their Instagram account, with their website, you know, but you know, sometimes their backyard is like a fucking mess, you know, like, so, I mean, how, but the backyard is actually a place where you often have to go back in, you know, you have to go back to your backyard, and nowadays a lot of people looking at Pinterest, looking at Tumblr, looking at Instagram, you can't look at these platforms to find an idea. Of course, maybe you can look at it to see what is made, but not for an idea. So the backyard is much more interesting, you know, metaphorically then. I don't mean your own backyard, but yeah, I mean, there's hidden fascinations, frustrations, there's unfinished projects. You know, it's much more interesting. Oh, by the way, about the backyard, yeah, tomorrow I think there's still 5 tickets left for, I do like a thinking outside of the boat, so it's quite dangerous because people will jump out of the boat. I do like a masterclass following from my lecture today. So there's maybe 50 people on a boat, and we talk for 3 hours, and we drink. And anyway, there's still 5 tickets left. Then, yeah, this is also important, no shit. I made this book called Shit. Sorry, I'm in the middle of Germany, but I made this book because I found a picture on German eBay of a Nazi taking a shit. I'm very sorry to break this, but to spoil it, but it's bizarre to find a picture like this, you know, that on German eBay that they sell single pictures. And this one was the first I found, but then I looked for 2 months for more pictures, searching for Donnerbalken, gay interest, like all kinds of things. And I found 80 pictures, like, of Nazis taking a shit. Yeah, like Donnerbalken, yeah, okay, and 7 of them in a row, you know, like, but it's bizarre, of course. I'm sorry, I'm Dutch. Sorry, I'm from Amsterdam, and yeah. Then I also made an exhibition in Botswana. I've never exhibited this in Germany. That's still a little bit. I feel. The first time I exhibited it was in Bolzano, in the north of Italy, because they speak German there. So that was in a museum. And then there was this cabin with a double door with a little tunnel. And then people go in and they really go to the second door. And then you arrive in a beautiful white cube with all the images. Only when you close the door and when you're in, you know why there's the double door, because there's an enormous smell of shit in the gallery. And you really have to, really 3-4 seconds, and then you have to run out, you know, like, yeah. Sorry about this, yeah. Yeah, finally, I mean, another one, yes, I'm very sorry about this, but again, because this is the shit section. Yeah, I did this book, I mean, women make a lot of selfies, but men make also selfies. And you find a lot of them online on gay dating websites. And this is a book I did with about 500 pages, and there's, yeah, 2,000 dicks in there, dick pics. And there's only one word internationally, only in Germany, they have a specific word for this kind of photography, because they call it Schwanzvergleich. So, I mean, yeah, I found 8,000 pictures of a dick with something next to it, you know, for the size. And then with a team of people, we kind of edited this to make a book, which is almost like the day in the life of Dick. So, because the first picture you see here is like the alarm clock. That was the earliest picture we could find, 6:38 in the morning. Then you open the magazine of the book, and it's like, people take a shower in the morning. Then you shave yourself. You put deodorant on there. Like these are pictures that are from anywhere. You find them online. People just put them online. You can just take them off you have to brush your hair because soon you have breakfast. What the fuck? Look at this. Look, I mean, look how it's unbelievable. Like the level of creativity. Like unbelievable. Like then you have to brush your teeth. In the end you fucking leave the door. Like there's 19 pictures of a dick leaving the door. Can you fucking believe it? And then, so you go into your car, you put a CD on. Some people arrive at work and they still work on a PC. Other ones work on a Macintosh, whatever. So, this is real. I didn't make anything about it. There's the lunch, of course, the cigarette break. You have to do some work, in the afternoon, at least you have to work, and then you have to think about what to do for shopping. You have to spend some money so there's 1 coin on a dick, 2 coins on a dick, 3 coins on a dick, until 28 coins on a dick, 28 coins, it's unbelievable. This is just like found online, then you have a snack, you have a drink, you have to go to the toilet, of course. And when there's paper, you're happy. If there's no paper, you can use it like a booster, an ego booster, and as a man at least. And then there's the dinner, the cucumber, the after dinner entertainment, the piano, the bongo, the guitar. After dinner, television, there's in the book, there's many, many remote controls. Then there's beer bottles. We only took A to Z because there's so many beer cans, Astra, Beck's, Carling, Duff, so. And then it's the end of the book, really sad, you want privacy, there's sex, there's some protection, there are some liquids, some help, and here, you see it's already the end of the day. And the last image of the book is the teddy bear, and you go to sleep, and my God, fuck. Yeah, okay, sorry. That's it. My last section is all about my love for amateurism and for the amateur. And so I show just if this is the latest book I did. It's called Incomplete Encyclopedia of Touch. And it's more anthropological, visual book about the fact that people like to touch things when they go on a photograph. If I stand here, I always want to be like this, because I need to touch something. And there's a lot of categories of people touching things, touching cars, touching, you see this everywhere, touching sculptures, big objects, cakes, plants, trees, boats, it's unbelievable. And in the book, we started with, I made it with a few friends, and because it's a lot of work, and we started with some categories, and in the end, these were all the categories that people touch. Some examples of stuff that I like. Poles that are very strange that people touch a pole. Why would they? Tennis nets, it's also quite of interesting that people do this. There's the gravestones, kind of macabre, but when they stand, they touch the person probably. And this is, you are advised not to touch a cactus, but still all over the world people are touching cactuses, it's bizarre to see this. And doors, why would you touch a door? Just use it. But Yeah, and that's very beautiful. Most women touching a curtain. I only found women. In the end, I found one man also touching a curtain. So yeah, weapons. Yeah. Yeah, that's a few more examples. Running a little bit over, but I will finish soon, I promise. So I do these books all on the photography books on the work that I find of amateurs. So I find images often on flea markets or online. And this is, for instance, by a amateur photographer who had a rabbit in Japan. And the rabbit was called Oolong. But he posted every day an image of Oolong on his website. And Oolong was really a great balancer. He could balance everything on his head. And for me, it was a great way to start the day. Every morning, I went to the website, and it was fantastic. The stranger, the longer it took, the stranger it became. And really beautiful images. Like, look, Oolong was a great balancer. And yeah, at one point, it became less funny because Oolong was ill. And you could really, over the days and over the weeks, you could follow. There was nothing on his head, maybe a big headache, but yeah, suddenly Oolong was dead. Yeah, sorry. Then I went the next day still to this website, and that was actually very funny again. But because I thought this was the last picture, but this one was the last one, so they put some carrots in there, and yeah. And another one is about a woman I met in Holland, which is called Ria. And Ria shot herself with a gun in a fun fair. So when you shoot and you hit the bullseye, it takes an automated picture of herself. So this was in 1936 when she was 16 years old. And she shot every year of her life. She shot a picture of herself in the fun fair. And that's really beautiful. And I met her in an elderly home. And I visited her and I asked if I could make the book. And it's a beautiful story of her life. She had no other camera. She only shot her portrait only once a year in the fun fair. And this is her when the book came out. And I traveled with her to exhibitions. It was kind of slow travel because Ria always wanted to bring a gun in her suitcase. And I told her not to do this because the customs and as she said, it's plastic, it's a fake gun because I want to be, and here she shoots me in a hotel room. And they called her also the woman who shoots herself. And then the images were sold to the Museum of Modern Art in Holland and in Amsterdam. And they asked me to deal with her, with the museum and with her. And in the end, she got a lot of money from selling all her shitty Polaroids. And they are now in their collection of the Contemporary Art Museum. And then Ria got enormous amount of money, of course. She never saw so much money in her life. And then she burned it like in 2 years' time. She did bus trips for the whole elderly home. She did, I went to 10 different times dinners with friends. And she paid everything, She was like very nice. And this is me with her in 2016. You see her handwriting is already a bit shaky. Then in 2020, she became 100. And this is her, and was on the local newspaper. But there was no, because of COVID, there was no fun fair. So I decided to have a shooting gallery in the backyard of the elderly home. And also I showed her postal address on my Instagram, and she got an enormous amount of posts, and it says here, this one is really nice, holy shit, you did it. So she became 100 years, and when she was 101, she died. Yeah, then finally, last thing I want to show, very nice also, two amateurs from Florida. This is Valerie on the pictures, and the pictures are made by Fred. And Fred really likes it to take pictures of his wife, Valerie, in the water. And in the beginning, it was in the bathing suit. Later, it was with the clothing on. And you see that the clothing is a bit wet. And it's their wet, these are seniors, and it's their wet clothes adventure. They really like to photograph each other. And mostly Fred takes pictures of Valerie. But Fred goes also in the water. And he's really, look at this picture. It's fantastic, And at night, Fred goes secretly with Valerie in the public fountain. And for them, it's their wet clothes adventure. It's really their passion. And it's really sexy, you know. And but it's also art, you know. Like, I think it's beautiful. When it rains, you know, for them it's great. The more rain, the better, you know. They really... I mean, how fantastic that these people make this artwork, you know. Like doing the garden... you know, the lake in front of the house. It's beautiful, you know, like the swimming pool for the summers, for the winter. They don't care, you know, like... and this is also the cover of the book. And this is like one of the most beautiful pictures they ever made. You know, it's almost like a modern version of Ophelia. So I made the book, and I made the book on waterproof. But I asked Fred to make a picture of Valerie with the book in the water. And I was really hoping that he would do that, because that was my dream, to show Valerie bathing with the book in the water. And I forgot to tell them, stupidly enough, that the book was waterproof, because I was so excited to send the book to them. So Fred said, like, hello, Erik, I sent a dozen of photos from our afternoon book swim. I hope they meet what is needed for publicity photos. I have Photoshop touched them up for good presentations. I shot well over 100 views, and these are the best. The shoot went well. We were both in the mood. There was a light overcast as hoped for, with no harsh shadows. Very professional email, you know. Like, Valerie wanted to know if the book was really to go into the water. I said yes. The book slipped down into the water a little bit at a time, Valerie taking it and herself in deeper as the photos progressed. Eventually, it was fully under. We enjoyed the tantalizing intrigue of it. Can you imagine, you know, a fucking hot email by seniors, you know, like... After the photo sequence, we both swam with the book, looking again at each picture. The water was not seeming to have any effect on it. I must have enjoyed 2 hours in the water with it. I rinsed it off in the house, placed paper towels between each page, and the book seems to have withstood the lengthy adventure just fine. Loved the whole business, Fred and Valerie. And these were the pictures, like... yeah, it's like... and then I thought it was over. Then I got invited in Switzerland for an art festival. So I presented the pictures, like 10 by 15 meters, floating in the Lake of Geneva. Fred and Valerie were, by the way, also invited by the festival. But they couldn't come. They wanted to fly them over, but they said we couldn't come because we have another shoot going on. Okay, yeah, like... but then Valerie was everywhere in the city, and... yeah, and then finally... yeah, I thought now that was finished, but then finally I found this image online of Stella McCartney, this fashion company, and they fucking ripped off the cover of the book, you know, like, so they really copied Fred and Valerie's work. You know, they have the handbag there, they have the same position, and they have a really, and this is maybe also very nice to end with, because they are very much amateurs, they love it, because I thought I sent them these images because they would probably, they are American, so I thought maybe they're gonna sue Stella McCartney or whatever. But it was quite the contrary. So in the end I said, like, we see the photos, the Stella photos, she does look a bit starched, not enjoying the adventure. Yeah, like, and then, yeah, and then he concluded by saying, like, sort of makes one wonder why she would be doing it to start with, you know? And in the end, he concluded by saying, like, I would hope she would get satisfaction in eventually taking the whole outfit under. Thank you. And yeah, like, finally, really, what I fucking, there's also one big no. So finally, please, no fucking mariachi band, really. Sorry. Holy shit. Thank you.